Good afternoon. Of course, I get the chance to talk to everyone as they're eating and finishing eating. So I'll try to keep you interested in everything going on. I want to show you this video first, and then we'll kind of bring it back to everything that's going on with scams here in Dare County and what we're seeing. But I want to play this short minute portion of this video so you may be able to understand a little bit more about how scams operate, and it may be a little bit differently what you think, okay?
But what is a pig butchering scam? I'll let the scammers show you. On these computers within the Rahaba residences, these scammers are typing messages to their prospective victims. On the computers are various dating apps, and these will be used to initially reach out to those victims. Next, the scammer fires up a VPN because the dating apps will block people who are outside the respective country. With his real location hidden, he then looks to see if he can find any marks. At the start of every day, it's exactly the same. The scammer will pick out new potential victims. You can see here who he's pretending to be. It will always be somebody glamorous with a rich looking lifestyle. With the victim selected, it's time to start into his script. He of course has to remind himself who he's pretending to be. In this case, someone called Ira.
I want to show that little clip. Of course, it's a lot longer, but that shows you what this is for these scammers. This isn't a person sitting in a basement, which it can be, right? We think about the scammer, the person who's trying to get our money, being a 16-year-old really smart person on a computer that's scamming us, right? But this is a business. These people had rooms. Is that going to be better now? Okay. So people have, you saw over here, overseas, where they had multiple buildings of people that sat in there like a business. They came to work every day. They sat in front of computers. They reached out to find their victims. And then it was a process. All right, I'm the guy who finds the victims, and I start the process, and then it moves from me to the next person who takes over that, right? And all that, it would show you on that one screen there how many people they had contact with, how many people were maybe victims, how many people were already on the hook, how many people were, they needed to discard because they weren't on the hook. So they have it kind of labeled out, and it went to the different sections of that facility and how they were going to scam you, right? And so that's why they call it the pig butchering scheme, because it's broken up into parts and how they're going to manipulate you and get you and bring you into their scheme, right? And there's multiple schemes that can be going on at one time. So if you think about it, if I'm the scammer and all of you guys and ladies are part of the scam that I'm trying to attempt, if I can get one of you to give me $10,000 in a matter of a day, 2 days, a week, how many people make $10,000 a day in here? How many people make $10,000 a week in here, right? So it is very beneficial for them to have this type of system. So as we sit here and think, oh, it's just some young kids that are out here scamming everyone, it's not. It's a business for them. They have all the time to think and figure out all these different scams. And so that's kind of where, Dare County Sheriff's Office and all your local towns, we start seeing these scams because they come here, right? So again, my name's Kevin Dupre. I work with the Sheriff's Office. We got Doug over back here. We're both in your criminal investigation divisions. So we get to see all the stuff that happens that gets brought to us in the county and try to work it and try to figure it out. And so we'll just kind of go through some of the scams we see a lot here. You faster, we looked at that video. Computer virus. How many people has had a computer virus, something pop up on their computer says, oh, you have a virus, click here now. Right now, right? Because it's instant, right? We all get nervous, we get scared. If we don't click it right now, what's going to happen, right? We're a society now, because of computers and everything else, of instant gratification, right? We want something right then, right there to happen. We want it fixed right now. We don't want to have to wait. So we go up, we click, and then now you're part of their scam, right? You've clicked, now they've entered your computer, now they start taking over things, and hey, pay us $49.99 off of a credit card. We can come right in here and fix your computer, and you're done, right? So you give a credit card or something, you pay the $49, they start that process, but they are now in your computer, they're getting all of your files, they're getting everything that you have, and then next thing you know, 2 days later, your bank account's drained, right? Because you've allowed them access to everything on your computer, which has most banking accounts, any social media, anything that they can start to use to scam you or just drain your money, right? So you can see it all pops up in different forms or fashions. Don't click it. Unplug your internet. Take the little cord out if you still have a cord, right? Or if you have Wi-Fi, turn your Wi-Fi off, anything like that. Turn your computer off. Contact someone who has a little bit more knowledge than like myself, right? My son who does IT for the county, that's who I'd call. Hey, something just happened. I was like, what I did. And he's like, turn the computer off, Dad. I'm like, thank you. Right? So we just have to make sure that you just don't let it continue, because if it continues, then you're going to have a battle to fight. Identity theft, trying to get all your money back, all those things that come with it. So unplug your internet, turn your Wi-Fi off, whatever you need to do. Contact someone, even if you don't turn off. If you know how to work computers a little bit, you can do your scans, your malware scans and all that through there to see if anything pops up. And then, contact someone else that can help you make sure your computer and everything is good. My mom got hit with this scam not too long ago. And so her computer's still off. She says, I'm never looking at it again. So that's just one. Just pay attention. Don't click on anything that just pops up on your screen, okay? Military romance. We put this in here because this has hit Dare County a little bit. We've had some people fall into this. And what this is, and they talked about it in the video earlier, the romance scams, right? That comes in a lot of forms or fashion, where all of a sudden someone pops up in your Facebook, your Instagram, text message, something saying, hey, is this Kevin? And you're like, no, it's not Kevin. This is, Kenny. Oh, hey, Kenny, sorry, I thought I was reaching out to Kevin, but, I think we're friends of friends, and then the conversation start or whatever the case may be, however they started, right? Well, similar here, romance scams, what you start seeing is someone from the military automatically pops up on your Facebook. Hey, Sharon, this is Ken. I think we have friends and, you look nice. Would you like to chat? And then that chat starts, right? And then they start the little military stuff with their photos and everything that it shows them in the military. And hey, I'm overseas. I can't really tell you where I'm at because, I'm so secretive and all these little things. And it kind of draws you into that little romance part. And then they start talking nice. And then, as the video earlier said, then they start saying, hey, I need help. I can't get back. I'm near a border and I need $15,000 sent here so I can get back, right? We all say, oh, I can tell you there's numerous people in Dare County that has fallen for this scam and lost a lot of money, okay? So they reach out to us in our darkest times, right? So when you're posting on your social media, hey, this just happened, and, I'm so down. I wish, this. And so these people are targeting that, right? They're not just sitting there trying to, go into Dare County and let me pull up every Facebook I can and find, they got, math people can figure all that out where they can get all these algorithms and all this stuff together to send out and say, hey, keywords, then send me their Facebook. Keywords, send me their Instagram. Keywords, send me this. And that's how they start targeting you, right? And then all of a sudden someone pops up in your Facebook and, they're 40 years old and you're 60, 70, going through tough times, and they want to talk to you. They want to be nice to you. And then they start asking for the money. Oh, I want to come see you, but I can't get a plane ticket because no one can know who I am. So you kind of need to send it to me this way. Let's move from Facebook to WhatsApp or some other really encrypted program that's hard to trace, all these little things. And then you're in it. Then you're in the scam. You're sending money. You don't know what's going on. They're saying, hey, I'm going to come visit you next week, right? And so you get all excited. Oh, I can't come next week unless you send me some more money. I ran into a problem. All these things. That's how they just keep that money flowing to them until you stop, until you just quit. And then you're going to get some anger from them. Hey, why did you stop calling? Why did you stop sending me money? I need this. I'm going to die. All these little things that try to keep you pulled into it, right? Because it's emotions, right? We're humans. We don't want anyone to get hurt. We don't want anything to happen to people, especially someone, we may have felt like, we had some connection with and all that. And so with that, it's just, how do you just stop? Well, we get that all the time where people finally realize, hey, I believe you now. I'm being scammed. Well, stop contact. Well, they said they needed 5,000 more, right? And it just continues. It's going to continue. It's going to continue until you have nothing else to give, and then they move on, right? So fake profiles, of course, are going to pull all the photos from someone's real site, so it looks like them. And you could do some things to pull a photo on Google, search a photo to see where it pops up on other places. There's a whole lot you can do. Vulnerable targets, when you start posting stuff or stuff starts popping up about someone's family, someone's passed away, a husband, a wife, anything like that. They want the online relationship to start. They want money, of course, at some point. They'll build up that relationship before they start asking. Customs, we see this on a couple of them. They want to send stuff back to the United States, and it's worth $1 million, right? Hey, there's gold, there's jewelry, there's all this stuff I've collected overseas while I was here, and I need to get it back to the States, but I can't. It's in customs, and it's, you can have a portion of it, you can have this, you can have that. Just custom needs $15,000, but send it here. Well, the customs needs it, why wouldn't I just go to customs, right? But it's just one of those things that continues. I need money to get home, and at some point it becomes urgent, right? I need it now. I'm stuck. I'm somewhere I can't get out. I need you to send this money, send it this way, all these little things, right? So, and that's just, we talk about military scams because I see it numerous people in the last month that's fallen for it. And once they're in, it's hard for them to realize it's a scam. And it's sad. We talk about when scams kind of started hitting us pretty heavy. We went to a lady who was getting scammed, family contacted us. We went to her, we sat down, we talked to her for a little while. And ultimately at the end of that, she said, look, my family don't call me every day. They don't check on me, ask me how I'm doing. These people call me every day. They talk to me as long as I want to talk. And if I want to send them money, I will continue to do it. Right? So that's how they attack you. Right? And that's hard for a family to fight. It's hard for us to fight when we show up and we're like, hey, you're being scammed. And they didn't tell you, I don't care. Right? So that's a problem. Bitcoin scams. All right? This is another we've seen, and this was taking several hundreds of thousands of dollars out of residents here in Dare County, right? So it's the whole, hey, check this out, I can make you a lot of money in Bitcoin, right? So I have this process I can do to get you a lot of money. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to take yourself to a Bitcoin machine, which are several in Dare County, right? And you go in there and you set up a profile. And then I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You need to deposit this much money in here and, all these things. And in 2 days, you'll quadruple your money, right? And all this thing. So you end up going to a Bitcoin machine or something else. You start it. They're going to tell you it's get rich quick. It's guaranteed money. It's Bitcoin, right? Is Bitcoin stable at all, right? And there's so many different coins that are being out there now. It's hard to figure out which ones are real, which ones are art. And if you could see this, it's a lot, on the right-hand side. This person is trying to show in this scam proof, hey, look at my Bitcoin wallet. Look how much money I have in there. This is what I'm trying to tell you I can do for you, right? And so when you start looking at the Bitcoin money, you're like, oh my goodness, that guy's got a lot of money. I can make that screenshot and send it to every one of y'all, right? And hopefully you'd send me money. But, they're trying to show you proof to try to say, hey, look, I'm real. I can do this, right? Then, of course, they're going to want to use their exchange system. Here's the exchange system. We want you to send it through and all of that, right? So Bitcoin scams are huge. They even use Bitcoin in other scams where, you talk about, and we'll talk a little bit more, but the people here at our Bitcoin machines are really good in trying to identify scammers. So when you walk up, if you're doing a Bitcoin and they think something's wrong, they'll try to, they'll try to stop you, which we've had. We've had another lady show up to a Bitcoin machine and she was doing it. She was on the phone with the Bitcoin people and the lady says, hang up the phone, you're being scammed. And the woman looks up and the person on the phone is telling them, do not hang up. They're just upset because you're getting ready to make a lot of money. Don't talk to them. So the lady's, still doing her thing. They're like, hang up the phone. You're being scammed. Well, she didn't. And she went through and sent the money and then left. And then, of course, the next conversation was, do not go to that one anymore. I need you to go to the one in Virginia Beach. Okay. So they know, they're paying attention, where they're sending people, because just like anything else, it's the internet. You can pull up and see where all the locations are in Dare County for Bitcoin machines if you're targeted and you accept that. So they understand the game. So now they're making this lady drive to Virginia Beach. And finally, at some point, she realized she was being scammed. She comes in and, the process begins for us to try to figure out how we can possibly retrieve money or not retrieve money. Those are really hard for us locally to deal with. So Bitcoin scams are huge right now. So if you get anything about Bitcoin, nothing is that immediate. Okay. If you learn anything today, nothing is so immediate right then that you have to hit yes or no. Call someone, talk to someone, see if it's real. You got a whole bunch of great numbers earlier in the videos to be able to call to see if they're part of any businesses or anything like that. So you can look at Craigslist scams. Okay, that's another one we see here in Dare County a lot. And there's a lot of forms of fashion in that, right? 1967 Corvette. If I can find one for $1,500, I'm in, right? I probably can on Craigslist, but it's probably a scam, right? So you go to Craigslist, something pops up, you're looking for something, you're like, oh man, that's a great deal, which is already a red flag, right? And then you message them, hey, I see this, you got this, I'm interested. Oh, if you're interested, I need a deposit. What?
Right now.
Right now, okay? Right now I need a deposit because I got 500 other people looking at it, right? And they're all coming tomorrow to pick it up unless you give me a deposit, right? So you send them money. Now your deposit's there. And then you start talking, hey, I want to come up. I want to pick it up. When can I come? Oh, look, something's come up, but go ahead and send me the rest of the money and, we'll set a date, and then you send them the money. And now you have the total amount of money. They don't have any contact with you anymore. You try to contact them. They don't respond, and you just lost all of that money because of a Craigslist scam, right? And I go on there and pick up a car that's being sold in Virginia and just use it, off of their stuff to make the scams, the whole thing. And you can make any phone number. I can go in there and get an app and make my phone look like any phone number I want. So I can make it the Craigslist scam, the actual phone number to people who are trying to sell the item, but in turn, it can come to me, right? So they can do a lot, especially with artificial intelligence. So, need down payment, have a whole bunch of people waiting, offer is too good to be true, once you send money, sites end up going down or something happens again, you don't see it, and then you contact us saying, hey, I just tried to buy a bulldozer for $10,000, it's worth $100,000, and I can't find them anymore. Well, there you go. Right? Now you just got run over by a bulldozer. So Craigslist scams, another portion that we see is rentals, where if you have a rental on Craigslist or you have it somewhere, they will mimic that rental and they will put it on their little platform, and people will send them money to rent a house or whatever else. And then all of a sudden, your little Airbnb that you rent now has 3 people showing up on Friday because they all think they have rented your Airbnb, right? And if you don't see people get angry when they show up with their whole family to go into their Airbnb and there's 2 other couples there arguing already, that's not a good time, right? Who is right? Who is actually the person who got scammed, right? They don't know until it all gets worked out. So we see that quite a bit also. qualify for debt or credit forgiveness. I put that in there because we talked to a lot of people in North Carolina, and luckily here in Dare County and North Carolina, people reach out to each other. We have, we talk and we meet at different meetings and we continue those relations. And a lady from NCIS sent this out to us 2 days ago. Like, hey, have y'all seen this happening? We're getting this a lot with she's down in Jacksonville area. Are you seeing this? We're getting a lot of this with our military, this little thing. So what's happening is social media, again, something will pop up saying, hey, debt forgiveness. What do we start doing? Really? How can I get out of debt, right? Because most of us have it. So we start looking. You click on the little link. It says, it takes you to a place that says, hey, here's a questionnaire for you to fill out. So what do questionnaires start to elicit from us? Right? And sometimes information you don't even know you're given, right? So you may have 10 questions asking this stuff, and you're like, oh, nah, blah, blah, blah. Now all of a sudden there's hey, date of birth. Oh, and then questions, and something else pertinent about you, right? So all that's happening. They're trying to get you in that questionnaire. Then they start, some type of process of getting information about your credit, because if you want them to help you with your debt or credit, what do you have to provide them? Credit information, social security numbers, all those things, right? So they start gathering all that up. Then you become a victim of some type of scams or some type of fraud or having your money taken. And this is just one of the websites that had popped up that someone that had it happen gave them. Saving-rate.com. Do not go there. Okay? You're not going to have any debt forgiveness. So just don't fall for those easy scams. And she said this is artificially, the AI completely made it. So you can go on your computer and, the little thing over there says AI generate or anything like that. Someone went in there and said, generate a scam for this, and artificial intelligence created it. Okay? So don't fall for that one either. Warrant and miss jury duty. Okay? If you haven't never heard my name before today, you may have heard it on the scams, because I've been used twice. Okay? Through the years, they'll call and say, hey, you have a warrant. This is Kevin Dupre from the sheriff's office. Sometimes not a really good accent like myself. But then they'll tell you, hey, you have a warrant for your arrest, or you missed jury duty. You got to pay $500 or $1,500. And we need you to go get green dot cards or some type of other payment system to pay us. We don't take green dot cards for the sheriff's office or anyone here in Dare County, okay, locally at all, right? So don't fall for hey, you owe the sheriff's office or law enforcement anyone money over the phone. If you have a warrant for your arrest or you missed jury duty and a judge sends us to go find out why you missed jury duty, then we'll show up. Okay? We're not even going to take money then. Okay? We don't have a little swipe card system that we can take money and leave you at your house. If it is that bad, you'll probably have a ride. We'll take you then to the detention center. You'll get to see a lovely magistrate, and then we'll figure it out from there, right? So at that point, if you want to get a master greened out cards or whatever else it is, then you can do that. So just hang up. And that's the biggest thing that we run into is just hang up. People are afraid to hang up on someone, and I understand it, right? Just, if you know it's a scam, just hang the phone up. Oh, yeah. So
Kevin mentioned that he gets some phone calls pretending to be him. Well, I was honored enough to have the same thing happen to myself. And ironically, the Doug Oberbeck that was trying to get money called one of our narcotics investigators' wife. And she was swift enough to send him the recording. Of course, he was quick to send it to me. But this is just an example of one of those phone calls.
This is Lieutenant Doug Overbeck once again with Dare County Sheriff's Office. I've attempted to return your call twice now. We'll put you down as non-compliant. Once we get in contact with you, we'll let dispatch come out to your residence and assist in detaining you. Thanks.
So it sounds fairly formal. That might scare somebody enough. And it's a little hard to tell with the feedback here, but we're pretty certain that this individual was incarcerated at the time he made that phone call. So they have nothing but time on their hands, and they can sit and they have access to a phone, and obviously they knew who we were, but
So it happens, right? Actually, one called me and used my name when he actually called me, which was fun. That was a good 15-minute conversation. I kept him on the phone. I won't tell you all about that, but that was a good time. So let's move on to the next one here. So then we can talk hours about the different things that are going on in Dare County, right, with the scams. And the biggest thing I think they said in the video too is just hang up and call somebody, okay? It doesn't have to be then. Nothing is so instant in our world that you can't take a minute to call someone and ask for help. Hey, help me with this. Can you help me look into this to see if, this is right, if this is going on? Your bank systems are great here in Dare County. I'm sure they are everywhere. But the banking systems here, they reach out to us. We help them with talks and everything else. They are willing to help you if you have a question about something financial that you're getting ready to do, okay? Your local law enforcement here, you are blessed to have numerous towns, the county, we have state, the SBI here, we have the FBI here. I mean, we got a lot of resources to help. You just have to take that moment to stop and then call, right? And say, hey, is this right? Like the Sheriff's Association at some parts during the year will call and they have a campaign. If you don't know if that's real, hang up. Call your local sheriff's office, say, hey, are y'all doing a campaign? Is this happening? How do I do it? And then we can make sure you get the right information, right? Because the scammers know that these things are happening, so they try to attach themselves with the things that are happening, right? So nothing said, just hang up and reach out locally to someone here to try to figure it out. Because the one thing we run into it all the time is when you call us and you've been scammed, is we do our search warrants to try to find out the info, we do our subpoenas, we do all that stuff, and a lot of times it leads us out of Dare County, it leads us out of North Carolina, and it leads us overseas. Okay? So we can only go as far as our jurisdiction will allow us, right? And once it starts going overseas or some other places, we're kind of at a dead stop, okay? So we do our best to get money back, and we've been pretty successful in getting some money back, especially in land schemes and stuff like that, which is a whole nother topic. But all of that to be said is you've got a lot of people here in Dare County that want to help. You got a lot of people, again, in that video in North Carolina that want to help. Just, you got to stop. If you don't think it's right, take a minute, right? I would love to be a millionaire in 5 minutes. It's not going to happen, okay? So I understand that. So you just got to take that time, take that moment, relax, contact your local law enforcement, your banks, your friends, your family. Somebody say, hey, can you help me? Do you think this is right? Do you think I should do this? Okay? They fit my mom, my poor mom. I'll use her because, I don't think it offends her when I do this. When my dad passed away, within 2 weeks, she got a call about my daughter being hurt. And they needed $5,000 right then before they could start any medical procedure. Like, do not hang up the phone, because if you hang up, we will not be able to start because our surgeons have to move on. Okay? My mom was in a fit when she called me finally, but luckily we were all at Life 360 together, so she was able to see my daughter who was in college. She wasn't at the hospital, and she called her on another line, on her home line, and Maris answered the phone. And my mom, of course, crying and screaming, is like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm in class. What's going on, Grant? But can you see how that affects someone and how immediate that could be, right? And so that's what they do. Take that moment, even if it's pulling on the heartstrings, you gotta take that moment and breathe and say, is this right? Okay? They talked about AI. Whenever you answer a phone and you don't hear nothing, you start doing the what? Hello? Anyone there? Right? Then maybe you hear a click or a couple clicks on the phone. It's AI, right? They're trying to gather information about possible targets, people's voices, all those things to be able to use in all these type of scams. And it's only going to get worse, okay? So this is great that the community has this. It's great that everyone showed up. And Doug and I will answer questions, as long as you want to stay here. So if you have anything that you want to come up afterwards, talk. A lot of times when we do these talks, like right when the question period starts, people's hands start going up saying, I was scammed. Did you report it? No, I was embarrassed. Okay? So don't be embarrassed. It happens. It happens to everyone. I know law enforcement people that's got scammed on the warrant end. You were in law enforcement, man. We don't do that. Right? So, we joke about it, but again, it's people's livelihoods. People lose a lot of money to this. And the bank system has been great with, I know, Dare County, if getting money back or giving money when it's been illegally taken like that. But that's a gift from the banks, too. That isn't hey, we're just going to give you money back every time something happens. I think that's a blessing that they're doing back to us because they understand the concept of where we're at in society with all the scams and everything that's happening. So that's kind of quick and brief because we could be up here for another 3 hours, and I kept y'all awake this long after eating, so I feel pretty good about that. So, yes. Right. So that's the whole AI generated thing where people will call you and say, hey, is this Kevin Dupre? Yes. And maybe there may be another question or two because they're just trying to get a specific answer, right? Because certain words, once you get certain words from certain things, you can basically have a dialogue with that person's voice, right? And how you talk. That's why I change mine up every now and then. They get all confused when they start talking to me. But that's what they do. They're trying to gather information. They're trying to get that voice down, and it's just recording it and doing all those things, right? What else we got?
Right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking right. There's a light right behind you there, I think.
On this artificial intelligence, everybody's teaching it in all different professions. How is it really legal?
So I guess that's a hard question. It's what it's being used for that makes it illegal, right? And artificial intelligence in itself is not illegal. It helps us in a lot of ways. It's just a matter that they're using it. That's like people who go out and do pavement for a living or do asphalt for a living, and they come to you and say, hey, we'll do your driveway for $5,000, and you come back and there's a patch about this big. Is it the asphalt's fault? No, it's the people who are using its fault, right? That's scamming you. So it's a great thing to have it because it does help us a lot, and it's going to continue to help us. Look at all the surgeries and all the stuff that it can help us with. It's just these people sit around and spend a lot of time to figure out how they can use it for their betterment, to take things from you that you worked hard for. So.
Hi, was I taking a bite of my sandwich when you put the phone number up to call?
Nope, but I will give you that phone number. We didn't put the phone number up here.
I've got 252-475-5980.
That is correct. That is to the sheriff's office, right? So let me give you the Dare County Central's non-emergency number, okay? Because again, something popping up on your screen possibly does not elicit 911, okay? So Dare County's non-emergency number is 252-473-3444, okay? So you can call them because all of you probably don't live in the county's jurisdiction as far as that goes. Of course, it's county jurisdiction, but you may live in Kildover Hills, or you may live in Nags Head, Southern Shores, Duck, somewhere else. So someone from that agency would respond to deal with your complaint if you had something. Yes.
Is there any response you can give that makes it less likely you'll be called back? Last week I got 4 calls in one day from different voices claiming to be my TV service. And they don't identify Spectrum most of the time. Called Spectrum, they really didn't have much of a response. Some people say don't answer the phone, some people say, you know, I even tried, this is very nice, the air horn that you give in the book. And I hope I kind of lose somebody's hearing. What's the best response? Don't answer, or answer and hang up immediately? Is there anything you can do to get them to take your name off the list?
Do you have an answer to that?
Yeah, I go, who? Just go, who? And they hang up immediately. 10 phone calls.
And they never call their
They don't mess with me anymore. They don't,
Yeah, that's a hard one.
every yes. Who? The minute you question who they are, they don't want to hear from them.
Yeah, or you just tell them, hey, I know you're scamming, and hang up. That's hard because, you know, depending on how determined the person is on the other end of that line, they will call you back. Especially, you know, right. And, you know, the bad part about it is they call you one time, it's from one phone number, and you think that you block it, and then they mask a different number and call you right back. So, yeah, that's hard to really say what to say. Anything else? Yes.
I have an answer, like on my cell phone in 3 days, I had 14 calls from some bank I'd never heard of. And if that's carried to the sheriff's office, can they trace to see anything on that? I don't answer it.
Again, you know, we can look up and see if it's a legitimate bank or something like that. But you know, a lot of times just that initial part is, you know, it's kind of hard to determine what it is. A lot of times you can go in and Google, I just got a call from such and such, and you can just Google that and then just see whatever pops up. A lot of times they say scam, 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 scam. Of course, don't click on any of the links, but you know, there's a lot to that. I get text messages about, hey, you know, we'd love to hire you and please contact this number, and you know, you meet all the qualifications, and which is great.
Appreciate it.
What do you think of that title lock? Is that something people need, or?
As in the system that goes in and kind of keeps everything secure, and
It watches if someone's trying to take over your title of your house.
your house and stuff. You know, it's not a bad thing. Again, we've had, and that's another thing, your local realtors here, because we go to talks with them a lot too, and they do a great job of trying to get a lot of that out. Now that, you know, some have slipped through, and some people sold some property that they shouldn't have sold because someone acted like they owned it when they started the process. But you know, if you do have property here, title lock, we're getting a hold of the realtors to really kind of say, hey, you know, here's my property. You know, especially if it's vacant lots is what they like, because it's easier for them to sell instead of houses and stuff like that. But the one down south who realized because he lives in Florida, he realized his house had been sold because a realtor, whenever properties were sold down there, an email would be generated and sent out to all the people who own property in that area to say, hey, this property just sold. If you're interested, please contact me. Well, that gentleman would see stuff pop up and he would check it. And he was sitting there and he sees this thing pop up, says, hey, some property is sold for this amount of money. Would you like to sell? And he starts looking at it. He's like, after about a couple minutes in, I'm like, that's my property. So he contacted the register of deeds, found out, yes, it had been sold. And then we started the process of backtracking it. And we were able to get back all of that, 200 and something thousand, but maybe 15,000 we were able to get back. So it's a process, but anything to alert you about your property is good, especially if you have it and you're trying to sell it or you're doing anything like that, to make sure the realtors stay on top of it and to make sure that someone's not sold it underneath you, because that's happened throughout the state. I know we go to talks and conferences, and I think someone had said that someone had sold property, and when the owners finally showed up one year, there was a house in it, and someone was living there because they had bought the property and built a house on it. So you can only imagine that happening, right? Any other questions, concerns? Anybody need to fill out a report when we're all done here about being scammed? It's embarrassing. It can be embarrassing, right? Especially when you have to contact us, say you've been scammed romantically. And Doug and I, again, if you just want to pay us money to come talk to you, we'll do that on the side. We actually cook too, so I mean, we did a lot. You don't have to send your money overseas. So I'll leave you with this because it is so bad right now with this. Look at it as if the scammers, you don't know where they're at, you don't know what they're doing, and we now will start issuing letters to people who are being scammed, and you're notified that you're being scammed, that you're a money mule, and that your money could be going towards terrorist organizations or anything else, right? And then that opens you up to being criminally charged, okay? So when you're talking to people and they're coming to you and you think they're being scammed, you know, there is a criminal element of this after you understand that it is a scam, right? Because you're just funneling money to people you have no how, or what they're doing with it, okay? So.
What about mail scams, like when you send registered letters and stuff and it disappears?
Yeah, so, you know, that's the postal inspector does a lot with that. We're actually, there's some cases that come through with the checks, kind of the same thing, right? Your checks getting pinged before it reaches you or something like that. They're being cashed somewhere else. And so a lot of that would be done through the postal inspector, which is out of Raleigh for us.
Are you finding that the scammers are using your political preference as a way of donating and as a way to scam money out of you?
We haven't seen that scam. But again, not to say that it's not happening. I mean, there's a way and there's a will. Someone will do it, right? And he just told you the one thing, there was people in prison doing the warrant scam and having you send money, right? And, you know, so.
There's a will, there's a way.
Is that it? Oh.
Wouldn't it be advantageous for people not to answer the phone if they don't have that person, if they don't know who it is? Why would you answer the phone if you don't know who it is?
Well, I can tell you why I do it. It's curiosity. But yeah, I mean, if you don't know them, there's nothing that says you know you have to answer. Yeah, if it's something, they'll leave a message. You could always do back searches. You know, social media, we talk about, you know, social media and everything, or just what we call open source platforms, Google, you know, Bing, all these things, to be able to see a number pop up, don't answer it, go in there and type that number in, and, you know, is this number a scam, and click, and then if people see that number a lot, it'll pop up as a scam or something like that. But, you know, you don't have to answer nothing, you know, if it's that important. Someone to get a hold of you.
Or they'll leave a message.
They'll leave a message. Yep, absolutely. That's it. We're all instant now. We're just so instant gratification that if someone's calling, you want to see, oh my God, who is this? Hello? Oh, you I can see that you're really good at your job. Would you like to apply for us today? You know, all those little things. So, but yeah, it's just the world we're in right now. You know, we didn't have this problem 20 years ago, you know, so maybe 30 years ago. So, anything else? All right. Well, thank you for being here, and I think you should give the nice young ladies, everyone who set this up, a round of applause too, please. If it works for, yeah, there she is. If it weren't for them having this concept, it wouldn't be here. And so just if you do have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us. We'd love to help you before we get the call that you've been scammed, okay? All right. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.